This podcast was produced on the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation.
Welcome to Australia.
Aussie.
This is kind of tragic.
Someone who is such a connoisseur of reality television.
The content is hideous.
So sorry about this. Oh my God.
Oh my God, Damask.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to the Cringe is Real.
Thank you so much. This is a long time coming.
It actually is, yeah.
You know, back and forth we've had over, I'm going to say years to get me in this couch, and I have been very elusive. It's mostly just because I've got a terrible memory. But I'm here now.
We finally got you here.
Yes, that's right.
That's right, because what were we going to talk about? Made in Bondi.
That's right.
Which, did you finish that absolute train wreck?
I didn't even start
Oh,
it.
Good thing we didn't talk about that.
Because I was really heartbroken about Bondi Bays. Did you watch that?
No.
That was incredible.
I watched Byron Bays.
That's what I meant.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same
my memory
page.
doesn't work. I watched that and I loved that so much.
For a second there, I thought they made a Bondi spin-off
They
of
should've.
Byron Bays, and I got very excited.
We can pitch it. But no, I watched that, loved it, and then they only got one season.
That
so I was
show-
like, I can't invest in any more of these shows if they're not going to
That show was
let me live.
incredible.
It was so
How
good.
did they
that
not
crystal
make more?
woman, who was obsessed with crystals.
Amazing.
I love her.
How is she not on television?
I don't know. I don't know why she hasn't shown up in my algorithm more.
Just her with crystals?
Just her with crystals.
sure,
I would
yeah.
watch the shit out of that. Yeah.
I'm not mad that she's not in mine. I do occasionally come across Jade, Kevin Foster.
Jade Kevin
The gay
Foster.
with the lip filler.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Sorry.
She's a Melbourne girlie now. And so I do occasionally see her out and about, and I'm always like,
In the
hey
flesh.
girl. Yeah.
The real world
The
algorithm.
real world. And she is
Wow.
just as chaotic IRL.
Next time you see them, send me a message.
Oh,
Let me know where you are.
I will.
I'm there. I'm
I'll
getting
be like,
an
we
Uber.
ha-
I'm
we have
coming.
eyes on Jade.
I want a live feed.
Really fun. Yeah. And Miss Siwa continues to cause chaos, and you've got lots to say.
Yes. As I was preparing to arrive here, I sent you a message. I was like, we need to talk about the JoJo situation.
It's ongoing.
And so I was like, I've got to take some notes because I've got a lot of thoughts. And so I started writing them, and it ended up being a full page of notes. Do you mind?
Please.
Can you, okay.
On today.
All right. And please interrupt as I go because there's a lot going on.
You got a lot to say. And look, it is election day, so we're really hitting the hard.
Yeah, what
hitting
matters to
issues.
the Australian people
It's
is
Miss Siwa.
what happened to Kath Ebbs.
Well, she's an enemy of the state at this point.
100%.
After you heartbreak our Kath.
I mean, I'm not about border force unless it's regarding JoJo Siwa. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
We'll go full Novak Djokovic on her.
Right.
She's no longer welcome.
No longer welcome at all. Okay, so I've written it as a JoJo preamble.
Great.
I just want to say most of my thoughts are not really directed to JoJo herself, right?
She's a baby.
She's a baby.
Yeah.
And look, being a young queer is complicated
It
and
is
hard, and we
complicated.
go through a lot of different things.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that it's being televised.
Yeah, true.
Is the real issue. So my preamble is more directed at all of the comments I have seen on the TikTok.
It's a minefield.
So I'm responding directly to a lot of arguments I'm seeing take place on behalf of JoJo's actions. Okay. So the first one being, she's 21, she's just 21.
Yeah.
Which, true, absolutely. But however, I don't think being young is ever an excuse to be an asshole.
No.
You can have empathy, frontal lobe, not fully formed, all of that stuff, but it doesn't wash away bad behavior necessarily. So that's just my first one.
And there's also, I'm not seeing much sign of growth or learning from this. I feel like she's just swept it under the rug, and then now just is doing press with Chris.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl,
The
who
only
is
way-
your PR person?
The only way we grow when we're young and doing bad things is when people around us go, hey, you're being an asshole.
It's true.
And then we learn and we grow. The next one is that I've seen on the comment sections is, they only dated 3 months. And I've got two arguments for that. Okay, you want me to just
well,
go?
in lesbian years, that's a very long time.
Exactly right. So my first point is, in that argument, time equals amount of feeling, right? Or level of feelings, which I don't actually think a lot of people truly believe. So, because I know if JoJo and Chris got married after 3 months, all those people who were saying, oh, JoJo and Kath have only been together for 3 months, those people, if JoJo and Chris got married after 3 months, would be like, oh, they knew as soon as they saw each other.
Not getting married.
Of course
my
not. This
money,
is absolutely
my money
bullshit.
is, but my money is on that they won't even be friends in 3 months time.
I don't think they're friends now.
No, neither.
I think he
Yes.
will never respond to any of her messages ever.
Now that she's left the UK,
It's not-
I think Chris is like, thanks for the content, girl.
Exactly
Bye.
right. It's not real. It's not real. But these people who are like, 3-month relationship, get over it. I just know that's not really what they're saying. They're saying this lesbian, this queer person needs to get over it.
Yeah, true.
And then the second point of that is absolutely the 3-month queer person relationship is actually 3 years.
Exactly.
So
and at 21.
And at 21.
Remember when you were in your 20s and a relationship, you couldn't even fathom a relationship for lasting longer than a year. And when you heard about people that had been together for that long, you were like,
wow, they're adults.
Wow, yeah.
And they're practically married.
Now I'm like, oh.
Oh, absolutely. I just think also in a 3-month relationship, speaking about the whole queer person relationship, 3 months, sure. But we also need to acknowledge that in that 3 months, JoJo had stated, both in person and on the internet, to Kath, you're the love of my life. I want to marry you. Come on. If that's not gaslighting to then be oh, well, it wasn't that serious. And certainly sounded serious before you went on Big Brother. Okay, next point.
Yeah, please.
Great.
I'm seated.
It's a full essay series. Okay. The next comment I'm saying is, well, she didn't really cheat. And
emotional cheating.
Well, I think that's dependent on whether or not you think emotional cheating is cheating, and totally fair if you don't. That is valid.
Yeah.
Every person is different. However, you need to consider that this is a very physically intimate friendship that is being televised.
True.
And so I think
you're right. Regardless of what it was a bad look.
I think the feeling of humiliation people feel about any type of cheating is probably amplified by the fact that you're watching it and know everyone else is watching it too.
The bit that shitted me the most about the audience reaction to it was just, I just hate an opportunity for particularly straight men to be like, told ya.
Particularly post the
she's
Mickey
gay
Rourke comments.
Yeah, which we will get to later on when we are talking about Love Triangle, but there is a similar moment with one of the characters, and I was like,
the blind rage I feel in those moments.
Yeah.
I'm having flashbacks, both high school and being in the club at 18.
You're not really gay,
I'm just
though. You just haven't met the right man.
I have war flashbacks. I really, really do.
And also, if you're gonna go for a guy, not that one.
Not that one. You want a top tier at best. If you're gonna downgrade into heteronormativity.
Also, what is he doing with the 21-year-old? Isn't he he's our age, right?
I think
I'm not fucking hanging out with 21-year-olds. Sorry, that's weird.
No.
That's actually
I'm
weird.
certainly not snuggling in bed stroking their back.
No, absolutely not.
Unless it's got far more of a maternal energy, which for me at 36 it absolutely would. It'd be like, oh, she's got a fever. There'd have to be vapor rub in the situation. There's no way there'd be any kind of sexual connotations there. Okay, so my next point is the homophobia, specifically the lesbophobia around some of the comments, though it's certainly not explicit, right? So let's play a little mind experiment when we're doing this. So imagine JoJo is a heterosexual male pop star.
She was for one episode where she did drag.
That is true. So it's not hard to imagine at all. So imagine JoJo. He enters the house in the same circumstance. He's in a committed relationship with a woman on the outside. He then engages in a friendship with a woman on the show. They constantly cuddle, hold each other, dance, become very close. There would absolutely be an uproar about that. Then as soon as he leaves the house, he breaks up with his girlfriend at the after party and pretends like he hasn't done anything wrong. I think all of those straight women in the TikTok comments, because let's be honest, all the women making these yay for JoJo and Chris.
Yeah.
They're mostly heterosexual women.
Yeah. They're like, straight love prevails. Woo!
All of those women who were so enamored by this relationship would absolutely hate JoJo and think he would be a complete villain. So
True.
I just think I'm not necessarily calling those women homophobic.
No.
But I do think they should reflect a little bit on some biases going on there, and maybe reflect a little bit before they, enter our spaces on Saturday night because they prefer not to be around straight men, or they come to our bars because it's their hens night and they want to hang out with us. I'm like, do you actually like us? Do you actually see us as valid?
Yeah.
Or are we just like a fun little time for you, babe?
Oh, absolutely. And look, I mean, JoJo Siwa has never really been the poster child for our community. In fact, if anything, when she came out and did the whole like, I've invented gay pop or whatever the fuck she said, our people were,
oh my God,
wanted to disown her.
I love you so much for this because this is exactly what my next point is.
Yeah, like, do you remember that?
Oh my
Everyone was like,
absolutely.
oh, she's. We don't want her.
We do not claim this person at all. Which leads me, okay, so this point is almost the only one that directly relates to JoJo's actions.
And not the comment section.
As opposed to the comment section. Is the statement of fuck the L? Did you say that?
No. About how she was identifying as queer.
No longer lesbian.
Yeah, which to me, every 21-year-old is like interested in using that language.
Yeah,
that didn't shock
It's almost shocking and out of date that she was like, I'm a lesbian.
I agree. I thought that was very strange. And then, but seeing the audience struggle with that concept, I was like, come on. Or people were like, oh, see, she is into guys because she's not a lesbian. I'm like, oh God. How long have you got?
Yeah, it's so. But here's what it said to me in a lot of different elements. Is yes, like this shocking thing of like I'm queer. I'm like, I feel like a lot of people understand now, like, the fluidity of sexuality.
Yeah.
It's not actually a shocking statement. I also think fuck the L is a statement that comes from such a place of ignorance to actually say that.
Yeah.
On television. It's like, well, we can all like be whatever the fuck we want to be. Yeah, but what do you mean by that?
Did you watch I Kissed a Girl?
Of course I did.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I love
Fiorenza. I'm obsessed with Fiorenza.
Femme for femme.
Femme for femme. Femme femme.
Yeah.
Amy. Oh, Amy. What a hottie.
Love Amy.
Where the fuck was I going with this? Oh, they had a really great conversation on that show about the fear of the word lesbian.
Yeah.
And I thought it was fascinating because it's true. Like a lot of my lesbian friends, they don't say it ever. No, there's like this fear of the word.
Yeah, I didn't for years. And I remember saying very similar things that they expressed on I Kissed a Girl. It was like, oh, I don't really identify with the word lesbian. I say gay. And I did for many, many years. And then, like, as you get older...
Because lesbian was, like, appropriated by, like, the male gaze, wasn't it? It's very, like, lesbian porn. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to, like, I'm in it. I'm gay. I've got a girlfriend, whatever.
Absolutely an aspect of it. I think for me personally, it was more that gay seemed okay. Like, obviously, graduating in 2006, from high school, it was a different time. But, like, there was slowly an acceptance of being gay, whereas being a lesbian there was something inherently masculine in that word that made me feel very uncomfortable. Sure. So just, like, you get older and you unpack that, like, internalized homophobia and misogyny and all of that stuff. And then I was like, oh, no, I absolutely love the word lesbian and use it all the time now.
It does. I love it too. And I think it almost like ages us because you're right. Like the kids are all queer. Do you know what I mean? Which we love, but like there is like the generation above us find that, or some of them find that word to be like offensive, triggering. Yeah. Because it was used as a slur, which I'm all about we've clearly claimed it and whatever. But like, yeah, it does kind of like age you to be like, oh, I'm even being like, oh, I'm gay.
I'm gay.
Gay gauze.
I'm homosexual.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, you only like one thing? Boring, grandpa. Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever. So good.
Yeah, no, we are old. So that was my thing. Just seeing her say, fuck the L just made me go, oh, she's not really a part of our community.
No.
She, like, obviously she is queer,
Yeah.
but she is queer, and this is like a hot take, probably too far, and I might regret it.
Go for
And
it.
I do mean it, but I also don't mean it that hardcore.
It's not that
But
deep.
it's just kind of a point, is that, like, she is queer in the same way that, like, Caitlyn Jenner is trans. Yes, they are those things,
sure.
but they're not one of us. Like, but the thing is, like, JoJo has time to grow and educate and become a part of the community.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know anything about queerness or queer people or
She
our
was-
culture or community.
She was going up to like Danny Beard in the house and literally like, asking like the stupidest questions, which like it's cute and like
Yeah.
I did enjoy watching her learn about her own people in real time, but also then maybe don't claim to be like a
Our queen?
spokesperson. Yeah,
I rule the queers.
She does
Anyway,
act like
I've never
that.
seen a drag show. Like, it's just wild. Yeah.
And the face paint.
Oh
It,
my
it
god.
makes her look 5 again, which was when she was.
I've just
first on
never
our
seen
screens.
a queer person with less style. You know, like and to be young, queer, and have no style, I think is the biggest crime out of this entire situation.
She needs to be investigated.
Investigated, charged, put away.
And
Yeah.
Anthony Albanese,
Mhm.
let's get her banned
Thank
from
you.
the country
Thank you.
because I think
Honestly, that might be the only thing that would make me vote Labour if that was his platform.
oh my god,
Mm.
should we get on with
What we came
the
here to talk
main
about.
the main event? Which so
Thank you for
but-
indulging me.
oh,
I really appreciate it.
can I say? So I had a few people in my DMs being like,
Mm.
please recap. Love Triangle. I'd clearly seen all of the lovely advertising by Stan with
Chriselle.
reunion host Chriselle, which I was like,
Love Chriselle.
stunning.
Chriselle really lights a fire
from-
all over my
From
body.
one queer woman to another.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. Then when I found out there was 6 episodes in the season, I
We
said,
love a succinct
"Thank you.
story.
How good.
Short and sweet.
What a
Yeah.
treat.
I don't have time to watch 75 episodes.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And but they managed to still condense like the good stuff, and there's no boring filler, which is why I'm loving this show.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
mostly yes on
Actually,
that.
yeah, I mean,
think
there's
there
still-
is,
yeah.
like, if we're going to get into it right now,
Go for it.
I have a little problem with the structure a little bit of the
Yeah.
show.
There's a structure.
I wish there was more. I think in the first like 1 or 2 episodes, the texting portion, I think it needs a little bit more jazz.
Actually,
Make
that,
it more like the circle or something. Like, give me some kind of
boop, boop.
visual. Yes.
that whole bit, I was like, oh, we're doing texting.
texting
And
now.
I don't like watching people text. It's not great.
Not unless I'm reading over the shoulder and they're in a huge fight on public transport. You know, like then I love it, but otherwise.
But
no.
you're right, like when they're sitting around and like pretending. Plus, there's one bit where like one of them is up like really early, like in bed, texting. I think it's Peyton. And I was
Yes,
like,
yeah.
girl. And I'm like, this is a really unflattering angle. Like, no one needs to be on television on a phone in bed
No.
looking
Although
anxious.
if you're gonna do that, go the full like bed rot, like full double chin.
that's
It's
what
like
she kinda looked
above your
like.
head, and you drop it on your own face, like, and you're surrounded by like last night's kebab. If you want to do that, I'm into that.
Yeah. So this is the 3rd season. Had you watched any of the other ones?
I watched the first season, and I
Yeah.
don't think they even had less of a rhythm then.
Oh.
So I watched it. I
Was
was like,
there texting then?
there was heaps of texting. I was like,
okay.
oh, this is fine, but nothing really seemed to gel that great.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, well, there's a queer element this season. I'll jump back in. And it's definitely better
They
than the
got
first
you
season.
in with Chriselle.
They always do.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
always do.
I was always going to watch it for our girly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the format's a bit weird. They do move swiftly on from the texting pretty
do.
quickly, though. And I'm not up to the thirds coming in yet, which so I assume that's what happens next, is that,
That
they
is,
bring
yeah.
in the others and then chaos ensues.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to go back to
Yeah.
the texting. I'm not over it. What's his name? Mike?
Oh, Mike from Maths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting by the
Oh,
pool,
wow.
entirely unable to have a single response to any of the messages, like crumbling within a second. I think one of the girls is flirting with him and he's like, oh, I'm sitting by the pool. That's his message.
Yeah.
And she responds like, oh, watch out for those tan lines. And he sits there for a good 30 to 45 minutes going, oh, what do I know there's a joke in here somewhere. What should I respond? And I have to watch him go through that process. I just feel like the editing needs to be a little tighter around those elements.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Watching these dumbasses try to figure out how to write one response, it's quite hard.
And I like how they run with it in the commentary. They're like, in a world where one typo can mean rejection. Like, sorry? What, are we doing this now?
It's a classic reality TV trope of like, what we're doing is really serious.
And they don't call it the experiment because that's
copyright,
taken.
yeah.
But what do they call it? Like the experience or something? They call it something like that. And I giggle every time.
Yeah, it's all about like the modern experience of love.
And they're suitors and singles, which I'm like,
which I find confusing because I can never quite remember which one is which.
Yeah. Also, there's a Melinda, a Marissa, and another one.
Yeah. I knew when I was like writing my notes, I was like, this is gonna be all wrong. And the people at home are just gonna have to figure that out.
You're just gonna have to figure out who we're talking about because the names threw me for sure. Let's jump into episode 1. It was called Part of the Problem.
Yes.
And I'm looking at you, Bernie. We meet Bernie first in Melbourne. Oh my God.
The type of man that makes my skin crawl immediately.
Because is he a man? I see a boy.
He is a boy, you're right. I spoke too highly.
He's giving, like, wannabe Fitzroy, like, cool kid. But, like, it's not quite landing.
No, and I was about to say with absolute private school boy vibes, but that is the wannabe Fitzroy boy. Yeah.
He's got the most horrible, like, chunky designer sunglasses.
Yeah. He's doing a lot. He also has the attitude of, that classic person of someone at one stage in his life told him that he was a very funny person.
Someone lied to him several times and told him that he was stylish.
And I'm not saying he doesn't have any jokes, but I think he thinks he's far more charming than he is.
He thinks he's cheeky and charming, but he's
not. The overuse of the word cheeky makes me feel sick.
But he's not.
He's not.
He's actually just a rude cunt.
Yeah,
like,
he's rude
and he's judgy.
He is judgy, and what he thinks is a joke is saying something pretty sleazy and going, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And saying that 12
or just
more
like
times.
point blank making fun of someone that he's just met.
Yes. Yeah, they're just full on like insulting women as quote unquote charm. Just makes me feel sick.
He's just got a ratty vibe. Yeah.
I would back away slowly not that he would, if he approached me in a bar, I'd be like, no.
Great casting though.
Fantastic.
We don't get many Bernies on our screens because normally they get roided beefcakes from the Gold Coast on these shows, but having a like Melbourne hipster boy who's like just as toxic but like in a package that looks woke, like I love that.
Right.
I love that.
Yes. Certainly I know a lot of women and men in my life that have dated a Bernie, so I think he, as much as Chriselle is the buy-in for me, Bernie is the buy-in for them, and I think that's great.
And I think it was good starting with him as well because instantly I was like, oh, I'm in with this show because they're giving me a character I've not seen before, and having just finished maths.
Look, representation matters.
Exactly.
And we're getting that in Bernie. I think that's
nice.
really lovely.
Yeah. Bernie chats first with Jasmine with a Z.
With a Z, yeah.
And he's like, oh, hot girl name. He's like, He's already like judging every tiny thing.
But honestly, wouldn't you though? Yeah. I'm like, that is a pretty sexy name. A Jasmine with a Z. Hello.
It's giving stripper.
Yeah,
I love it.
gorge.
Then he's like, oh, texting quick. Hot girl behavior. Is that like... Is that hot girl behavior?
I don't think it is. I think if someone texts me quickly, because I am on the apps, and I'm going to say it, probably pretty toxic myself. If someone texts me back immediately, I'm like, not hot girl behavior. I'm like, what is she desperate? As someone who is genuinely desperate, me myself, I'm like looking for desperation in everyone else. I'm like, ew, desperation, gross. I think just giving it a little time to marinate.
You're a treat 'em mean, keep 'em keen.
I'm not. No, I'm the desperate one, but I don't want desperation from others. Is
Gotcha.
What I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Because I respond immediately.
I'm so you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, I want to be.
I'm like, hi.
Yeah. But then if someone's like that to me, I'm like,
Ew.
like,
Get alive. They don't have a job. I bet they don't have a job.
Yeah. Then we meet golden retriever Jasmine, which back to I Kissed a Girl. Is this lesbian language that has now been appropriated by straight people?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Like
Black Cat and Golden Retriever.
Can they stop stealing all of our words?
They've still. Although I was thinking about this the other day.
It's like daddy.
Yeah, entirely irrelevant.
Fuck off.
But lesbian culture has like appropriated like gay male terminology for how we define ourselves now, which is a very new thing over the last like 10 years. I'm like, I don't mind us swapping between each other. I think that's cute and fun.
Yeah.
But the straights taking it is a little bit freaky.
But of course they have, and it goes in line with just what's happening in the world at the moment with I went to therapy once, learnt all the language, and now I'm going to weaponize that against everyone around me and never go to therapy again.
Yeah.
So it's very that. It's like, I learnt the term golden retriever. It's an attachment style.
God, you know what?
I
hope if Bernie ever goes to therapy, the women of Melbourne are fucked. They're all fucked. Like once that man learns therapy speak, the women he'll destroy. Yeah.
He's an insecure man.
Yeah, aren't they all though, really?
But like it's very obvious to me.
Oh, yes.
Which is cute. I weirdly, this is the one time I will say this. I weirdly want to fuck Bernie.
Yeah, no,
but
I can tell.
But like,
I can see it in your eyes.
But only, it's just, I love Toxic Men. And he's just got like such a douchey little rat vibe.
Yeah.
And I want to punish him.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't have time to unpack it on the podcast.
No.
But I've just, with 99% of people who I know who are attracted to men, you all love toxic men. Yeah. And I just like want to, I would love to understand it at some point. We don't have to do
just
it now.
Just in a pure objective
Is
sense.
it because that's all there is? You have
to?
Yeah,
that's all. Pretty much.
Okay, great.
And especially on these shows. Cheeky. We get that word a lot. And we get Marissa, who is a Texan. She says, don't mess with Texas. She tells us she's a party girl. She loves to party. And she's a spicy Latina.
That's right. Who does sexy dance classes. I remember that. Yeah. I will say, though, while I don't like Bernie as a person, I think his response to Jasmine's messages is accurate. They were the most boring messages I had ever read.
Totally. And I loved how he was just like, boring. I was like, true.
I was like, I don't like you because you're a man saying that, but I completely agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah. And at this point, he hasn't revealed himself to be totally disgusting yet. No. Like in the first ep, I was like, I was like, he's just an average
maybe
dude.
Maybe you're a nice guy in a douchebag package. But maybe,
Then we go to the Gold Coast, and it's Mike from Maths with that's got to be like a tattoo on his head, right? The hairline.
The hair?
It's giving.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
It's very distracting.
Okay.
But it's very Maths to have like a fake hairline.
Love that.
Now
I won't be able to stop staring at it when I watch
next
the
time
next episode.
You'll be like, we get a little clip package of him from being on Maths, of course, because Stan is owned by Nine, and hence this.
I was wondering about that. I'm like, I can't believe they got the rights to this. But that makes total sense.
The phone calls coming from inside the house.
That's a nice little ad. Did you watch that season of Maths?
I did. It was a long time ago though, and he was the like breakout star in terms of like being a toxic villain.
Gotcha.
Which we love to do.
Yeah. Which is the only real star in Maths. You know? That's what they produce.
Occasionally there's one that's like beloved.
And they get a radio show?
Yeah,
gotcha.
There's that. But you're right, we watch it for the villains.
Yes.
This season there was like
that's why I can't
everyone
watch
was
Maths.
a villain.
It's like the one reality show I can't watch.
Yeah.
It makes me too angry.
It makes me so anxious. But we do need to check in on the straights because
we do.
They're not okay. Okay, he assures us that he's changed his ways.
Oh, he's definitely
I can't even
grown.
say that.
He's definitely
He's like,
grown.
look, people said things about me online. I was called a misogynist and other horrible accusations like that. It's like, where's the lie?
Why, like, tell me, Mike, why did they say that? Why did they say that about you? And what about it was a lie?
Yeah, look, I'm not your therapist.
Oh,
So, how many times do you reckon they're going to play that?
I hope at
this
least
season?
75 more
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
So good. And then he gives us a little ambulance, but he's like, I hope I don't get prejudged. So I'm going to go by Michael instead of Mike because I'm so famous that I would hate to have someone recognize me. And I was like, calm down.
The level of arrogance. Also, like, the amount of mics I know just on my one street. I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, so he's this age, his name is Mike.
Yeah.
I know exactly who this is. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. The
No one
delusion,
knows who you are, mate.
delusion is
Soz.
real.
Yeah. He chats to, get it, Melissa and Melinda.
Great.
Could we not have just had someone change their name?
Yeah, give
'Cause-
him a cute nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Or Lise. Like, call one of them Lise.
Yeah.
Just for the viewers.
Because we've just met Marissa, and then
mhm.
now, I can't.
Yeah.
I was freaking out.
See, that's a casting issue right there.
Yes, they do it all the time. They make people change their names. Remember Big Brother one year? There was like 5 guys all called John. And they had to like everyone had to
Big
just
J.
yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
He's already drawing blanks in his responses. This was
Yes.
hilarious. Him
Yes.
trying to respond to a text message and not even being able to do that. Was
Not a
quite
single
funny.
thought in his head.
He's like, oh.
And I could see that he was like panicking behind the
Yeah.
eyes because he knew that he looked like an idiot. I did enjoy, as much as I didn't want to watch that moment, I did enjoy seeing this man struggle
Yeah, it
by
was
the
good.
pool.
They knew what they were doing.
They did,
leaving
they
that
did,
in,
they did,
lingering on him, going, "Oh shit! Oh, how do you use a phone?" Like, oh,
I think they like cut away from him umming and ahhing. We saw an entirely different couple, and they cut back to him still by the pool, going, "Oh, there's a joke in here somewhere." Yeah,
yeah.
it's tough stuff.
We meet Melissa. She's a beach girl. She loves the gym. I was like, oh, what a personality! And she lives at home with her family at 40. Girl,
I need so much more information about that.
so much
Because
more.
obviously one wants to prejudge that and go, that sounds crazy.
Oh, I well and truly
but
have.
yeah.
Too late for
I was
that.
like, she gone through a bad divorce, ex-husband an
Oh,
asshole,
true,
like no
true.
money. She's like building her life again. Maybe that's
Witness
happening.
protection.
There's like there's got to be some other issue. But then I'm like, oh, maybe it's a cultural thing. She just loves being with her family. But I also judge that a little bit as like a very kind of like white person who is like emotionally estranged from her family. I'm like, we can't connect.
And did
If you're in love with your family, we can't connect.
And she tells him this in the text, which I was like, girl, what? Sorry?
She's living out loud,
I would not
out and proud.
be putting that in the text chat. That would be
Yeah.
like date 3. I'd be like, I live with my parents. Only if I was asked.
I think if this show didn't guarantee her getting, whether she gets chosen or not, getting on the TV show down the road, she would not have mentioned it.
Yeah,
But
oh,
she
true.
knows even if she doesn't get chosen, she's going to get some TV time.
Understandably, Mike is a bit concerned about that, but he leaves the chat there for now. And then we meet Melinda, who has daughters, which he's into.
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
Can't
yeah.
wait to be the stepdad.
What does he say? Something he's like, oh, when they've got kids, there's maturity. And I'm like, no, you just want to be mothered.
Oh, that's so true.
Do you know what I mean?
Think
When he
about
said that, I was like,
yeah.
you want you want like a trad wife.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that.
Then
Depressing.
we go to Sydney and we meet bisexual diva Chloe.
Chloe. Here she is.
Look, if JoJo was bad enough, Chloe's really setting the movement back. Sorry, girl. She's
Go on. I want you to unpack
She's
that. Go on.
only on this show so she can go, yeah, look, I don't see gender. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't
think
even care. I didn't even think about it.
that is like marked as revolutionary that she does not want to know the gender of the people she's texting. They mention it 33 times. She is so proud of herself.
She thinks she is like the coolest person in the world.
They said the revolution would not be televised. It is.
It is.
It's being televised.
It's Chloe.
On this.
Watch out.
Woohoo!
She's smashing the fucking gender norms. But yeah, she loves telling us that. She's like, I'm actually really evolved being, and I don't see gender.
She's
so
incredible.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the names redacted. And then she proceeds to guess their gender. Like, she's like, it's like a fucking reverse gender
She's
reveal
like,
party.
Well, this one sent a blue love heart.
Yes!
So they are a boy.
She's like, tradie. Like, she's like interrogating their occupations and making like gender-based
Tradie
assumptions.
sounds like they've got a dick. Like, it's so weird.
I screamed. I was like, you are a fucking terrorist. What are you doing, Chloe?
Yeah. To be fair, though, all she says is that they have masculine energy.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
She was like, this one's got a dick.
And this one's got a vagina.
Oh.
Yeah.
But whatever. I actually kind of love her. Because she's a messy.
Do as well.
And she's hot.
Here's what I love is just how messy she is because she is on this show because she got dumped in a really horrible way 2 weeks ago. And she's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on stan.com and type in my little application to be on reality TV
And then they got her on
crazy.
2 weeks later. Do you know who they should have put on this show? Kath. Kath could have been one of the suitors for Chloe.
I think they need to like
Trauma
quickly
bond.
make the next season.
Yeah.
Because Kath needs to be on it.
Kath needs to be the star of season 4.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm very into that. The next Bachelor season, Kath. Fuck yes. I'm auditioning. Actually, pull that up. I'm auditioning. That'd be great.
For Kath's heart.
Would do. Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, so she doesn't want to know the gender of the suitors, but then also absolutely does.
Yeah, genders them immediately.
She's obsessed with it. I'm like, if you really didn't care, none of this would even be
It wouldn't be a
said.
conversation.
It would literally just be like, oh, cool, like, whatever.
I do love a woman who's like, oh, I love the fact that this person has a house. And I was like,
That's right. She does.
In this economy,
She goes,
that would be my first
"Whoa,
question. Property owner? Hello.
house?"
A job and a house?
That is
Ding,
actually
ding,
really
ding.
bleak.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
She talks to E and B, and yeah, straight out the gate, she's like, guys, I've got a huge bombshell that's going to rock your world because no one's ever said this before, but I am actually bisexual.
Oh my God. Bisexual.
What are they going to say? Are they going to hate me? I'm like... I was like, well, clearly one of these people you're talking to is also queer, at a minimum.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to care,
It would be a wild casting choice in 2025 that they only got her 2 straight men.
Imagine if that... I actually would have loved this show if they did that. If they were like, sorry, girl. We got a bisexual girl on so that we could give her 2 toxic straight men. I would like...
Just to show her how
die.
bad it is out there. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Jeez.
They do say that a lot on this show. Like, it's bad out there. Oh, dating.
So bad out
Modern
there.
dating is really...
Single
tough.
people, kill yourself. Yeah, it's pretty much what this show
They
is
pretty much
saying.
say that, yeah. In a world where dating is full of rejection.
Where dating is worse than death.
Yeah. She's worried she'll scare them both away. And I'm like, shut
With
the
her
fuck
bisexuality.
up,
Yeah,
Chloe.
it's very funny.
Anyway, and of course, surprise, surprise, they're into it. Actually, it'd be really funny if one of them was like, oh, gross.
Just
like,
immediately blocked.
blocked.
His contact is no longer available. Yeah.
Or just like full, like, bi erasure.
Yeah.
Someone's like, well, that's not real.
Yeah. Vomit
Make up
emoji,
your
vomit
mind.
emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's vibing with B, who works in fashion. Oh, so maybe she's female.
Maybe she's a gay man.
Yeah,
Works
yeah.
in fashion.
That would have been great if they
Yes.
just gave her a gay man.
The gay man is a best friend. Cute. I'd watch that.
I would watch that. Back to Bernie in Melbourne. He's been up late, like, sexy texting with Marissa about her sensual dancing. This was a bit icky because it was like, I don't know.
Because he's just telling us that he was like typing and jacking off last night. I was like, okay, cool.
They
Story,
they
bro.
pretty much just did that.
Yeah. He looked directly down the lens at me personally and told me that he jacked off, and I felt uncomfortable. Yeah.
Exactly. He asks Marissa for a date. I love a casual question. Do you want to go for a date in Sydney? Okay. It's like, but neither of us live there.
I
Yeah,
thought
but
you
I
never
wanted
asked to go to Sydney.
But I thought we could just do our first date in Sydney with cameras.
Yeah, love that.
Weird that they have to do that because at the start they're all just in their hometowns. But I guess it's because they do the like dinner parties.
Yes,
things
it's very
later.
important that everything takes place in Sydney.
Yeah. I also like that they all got booked in like varying Airbnbs. Like some of them are quite chic and some of them are like absolutely trash. It's like
I
luck of
wonder
the draw.
how they determine who gets what Airbnb. Is it depending like what they want that character to project?
I don't know. And if you're lucky, one of the producers will come and sit on your bed.
Oh, yes. Oh, cannot wait for that episode. Come on.
I know. Oh my God. Back to Mike. He likes the mum. He's going with Melinda. So this is, I think this they could have tightened. It was like just pick one.
Yeah.
Like.
I need one scene where they're texting back and forth and then they decide. Yeah.
But he freaks out about the
my
visual of a watermelon being crushed between her thighs. This was so strange.
The amount of airtime they gave to it though was straight.
Phenomenal. I was like, wow.
You loved it.
He was like,
He
watermelon
was freaking
crushing
the
a
fuck
woman. A woman with thighs
All I can
stronger than
imagine,
mine.
I just can't stop thinking about it.
I don't want to be a watermelon.
No, the amount that he was talking about it, because he's like, I see those women at the gym, and I was like, I've never wanted to be with one of those women. And I was like, the amount that you are thinking about it, I think you do want to be with those women. I think you are very excited by the prospect that your head might be a watermelon.
I might be crushed.
Yes.
Within the firm grip.
Grip.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was hot.
I agree.
If I got a text that was like, my thighs can crush watermelon, I'd be like, here's the address.
I'd get a little tingle. Absolutely. Let's get it happening.
But he's fragile masculinity.
That's
is
right, he's a
very
man.
threatened by this. He's like, I'll be doing the watermelon crushing around
Only
here.
I lift the weights in this home.
Exactly. They meet up, and so we need to talk about my favorite thing that this show does on the first dates, where
I know what you're saying.
a random person walks past and they think it's them. And
they
fucking
awkwardly
died.
look at them, and then they get rejected, and they're like,
It's
"That's
like
embarrassing."
a handshake and then the hair swipe. It's like,
Yeah.
not me. And each time, it's so obvious that it's like a paid member
Absolutely,
production.
it is. I was like, "This is."
Nice touch.
Look, this show has its own unique trope, and it is that one.
It's that.
And but next season, I want at least like every person has at least 3 people go past. Like I want like a clown on a bike to go past. Like I just want it to be more and more absurd.
I want to be one of the people.
it
Like, where do I
you?
apply to be a person that
Yeah.
walks past but is
I
not
want
the
to zoom
suitor?
past on a Segway, and I want them to think that it's me. That's what I want. Yeah,
Honestly, it's so fucking
I really
camp.
enjoy it. Yeah.
They meet. He goes, "Oh, look, I'm not gonna lie. The watermelon threw me off." And then he goes, "Can I just ask a question?
Oh God.
I don't remind you of anyone, do I?"
Yes, he says that, and then he says it 15 more times.
He's like, I'm not. I don't remind you of anyone from like, I don't know, a maths season in like 2021 or whenever the fuck it was. And she's like, no, you look like a bald man.
It's like, this poor woman, it's so awkward how many times he says. He's like, do I remind you of someone? She's like, no, like that's the first time. And then he brings it up again and she's like, no.
I mean, I feel
and then
the show
she gets paranoid. She's like, do
Yeah.
I know this man? Am I related to this man? What's going on?
Is
he
this
like
my
secret
uncle?
lost dog uncle? Yeah. So confusing.
Totally. The way he brings up, she's like, what's going on?
Such a weirdo move.
Anyway,
He is a weirdo though.
over to Chloe. Oh my God, E owns a house. Swoon.
Property.
But she decides on B and gives a
Feminine energy.
voice note. The voice note, I was like, we didn't need that. Let's see who it is. So another, this stranger was great. It was a man that came up and said, excuse me, where can I find Central Station? And I loved her response. She goes, I don't know.
She's not from Sydney. I genuinely laughed a lot at that. I thought that was great.
It was
'Cause
amazing.
He looked so lost and confused.
He was like,
that man needed help.
so
and now
good.
he's on an episode of Love Triangle, which I
Exactly.
love so much.
Then we meet Beck. Thoughts on Beck?
I am so physically attracted to Beck that I almost can't have an opinion
she's
without it
hot.
being so biased.
I
She
had the
walked
same
up and I was
reaction.
like, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem for me. It's
She's
going to be a problem for Chloe.
hot.
She's so hot.
Mm,
Yep.
mm,
I will say, though, I don't love
Mm.
if someone asks you, am I your usual type? And you have any intention of actually like having anything with them, don't say no.
No.
Just like, oh, I don't really have a type. That's what you say.
Yeah.
You don't confirm their worst nightmare. Like, yeah, I'm usually not attracted to people that look like you.
Yeah.
That's not the way to go. It's no way to start a conversation.
Yeah. And this continues Chloe's obsession with gender and gender roles. Like, because she's like, she's so focused on it. She's like, I'm getting STEM vibes from Beck. And then she's like wondering whether she's like, obviously I'm really feminine.
Yeah.
And
Beck's more masculine.
And Beck's a bit more masculine.
Yeah,
and
just
then
STEM vibes.
STEM vibes. I just learned that word last week. Then she, asks, am I your type? And Becky's like, no, I'm actually usually into mask.
Yeah.
And she's not femme for femme.
She's not femme for femme. Yeah, look, that's hard. That's hard to hear. I just don't think you should ever say it. Just like, I don't have a type.
I agree. There's a way to...
You say it if you have no intention of ever dating them. You're like, oh, no, thank you.
True.
And then you walk away and let her, I don't know, find another stranger on Sydney. I'm sure one will walk up in 2 seconds. But otherwise, just keep that to yourself, I think.
I genuinely have no idea what's going to happen with these two. And I'm so excited to find out. Like, I'm gagging to finish this show so I find out what happens with them. Because I'm assuming it's chaos.
Because I've only seen up to episode 4 when the third comes in. And I think you'll get what you want.
Okay, great.
You'll get what you want.
On Bernie's date with Texas, as I'm going to call her, they seemingly make out straight away, which was
they're like
hot.
horny
They're
teenagers.
horny, yeah.
And
Not gonna lie,
I vibe with that.
I was aroused.
I was like, yeah, if you're feeling it, guys, go for it.
But I feel like that's all that there is here. Is like a
course, 'cause
slight physical attraction and nothing else.
Because that's all the text messages were. And Bernie was like, I think like we've got like a really cool connection. I'm like, you guys were just like describing, I don't know, fucking each other over text.
But
like,
then,
of course you're
But then
interested.
he like hates her American accent. It's like, oh my god.
Well, that's things like, I think he's horny for her, but I do
Yeah.
think he absolutely hates her.
And then, of course, she's been holding a bombshell. And then he goes, this I thought was really rude. He's like, oh, you've got a kid. And I'm like, oh, dude, like, you're not...
Gross, you're not a mum, are you?
You're not... Yeah, exactly. But you're not supposed to cut her off and say
No.
it. Let her say it. And then...
Yeah, it's not like an improv game. It's like,
Oh,
let's
did I
start a
guess it?
scene.
Yeah. Also, it's such an overdone trope on reality TV, and I actually am bored of it. Like
The secret single mum.
just I've got a kid. I wonder how they're gonna react. They did it on Maths this year with Adrian and Athena, and it was actually horrible to watch by the end because she was really upfront about it from the start, and he was just totally stringing her along the whole time, being like, "Oh, maybe I could do that," but then telling us in confession, like, "I don't want a fucking kid."
That is so
But
depressing.
just sticking around for the airtime. It was like, ugh.
That's
So
yucky.
I'm getting those vibes from this, and to that I'm like, whatever. But I love he's like, oh, 9 years old.
What I found fascinating about that scene was, so she reveals that she is a mother, God forbid. And he goes, oh, I just didn't get that vibe from you. You seem so youthful. And I was like, she didn't reveal to you that she was secretly the old woman from Titanic. She said she had a child. Like, yes, mothers can also be youthful, believe it or not.
You don't look like you've been tarnished by pregnancy. Like, fucking hell.
Dragged through the mud for 75 years. Wow.
You weren't wearing that cone on your head that said...
I'm old,
I'm
gross,
a used
and
woman.
with child.
Yeah, exactly. Episode 2 is called Baggage, and we meet Ariana and Peyton, who are the final two singles.
Yes.
And boy, Ari is 29 from Melbourne. She's Serbian and Greek. I was getting... I really wanted to like her at this moment.
Oh, you don't like her?
I don't think I do, no.
Ooh,
I really wanted to. I was like, she seems like a fun girly in the office. She's like in the comms team, you know, and she's like, she's like loud and she loves a wine.
Good for a
like,
goss. Yeah.
loves a
absolutely.
goss. Like
and she
that.
hates the boss.
But then
Yeah.
as time goes on with her, I'm just finding her to be a little bit like basic in an annoying, like conservative way.
Okay, that's interesting.
She also expects too much from this show, and like genuinely, there's two types of people that go on these
Yeah.
shows, right? The airtime hungry tigers, and the Delulu people that genuinely want to find love, and that's a bit sad. And I think she's that.
I agree. I think as soon as she said that she has quite a strict timeline about having a baby, and she's going on Love Triangle, I'm like, oh no.
I just want more for her. I want her to realize that she just needs to like look inward and like love herself, and she doesn't need a man to do that. Do you know what I mean? I want to like real talk with her.
Yes, I do think that I see what you're saying about like the kind of basic conservativeness of it, but I also think when given the right challenge, she'll step up and actually be like a total fucking badass.
Also, how are you not fucking this man? Because he is insanely hot.
Yeah, it's true.
I would have just, first night, I would have been like,
let's do this.
Let's fucking go.
He's very beautiful.
He's gorgeous.
So beautiful. Yeah. And that gorgeous New Zealand accent.
Oh,
like, that's
the
a lot
eyes and
to
the smile.
combat.
Yeah.
Stunning.
I mean, I can't wait for him to reveal that he's a complete piece of shit later on. But for
Absolutely.
now,
you got to
I'm
enjoy it
living.
while you can with like men on these types of shows. Because
Yeah.
if they're like fine, you're like, okay, I'm going to relish this for as long as I can because you will be an arsehole next episode or whatever it is. Yeah.
yeah. And she just annoys me later as well when she's like, I need the man to make the first move,
Yeah.
but then like turns him down. He tried to, and she turns it down. And then she's like, why isn't he like throwing
It
me
just
up
makes
against the
me
wall?
so sad when you see women who are like, you can see like inherent strength there,
Yeah.
and then putting themselves in like these weird cages where they can't just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
That's so weird. So her suitors are Leary, who we've just discussed.
Hottie,
and
hottie, hottie.
Sam, so hot. She hates vegans, which I was like, okay,
Yeah, that's a strong take. Yeah.
yeah. And that's
But if you can't invite them over to like family dinner, I get it.
I get
yeah.
it. She does that as her kind of like icebreaker, which I was like, okay. But it's better than which day of the week are you, which Peyton does later. And to that I say, fuck off.
I did think about it quite seriously though.
Oh, go on.
No, I was just
What
like,
day are you?
I do think because I think I feel like a Wednesday. I think I present as a Thursday.
Ooh, what's a
Yeah.
Wednesday? That's
Just
hump
like-
day. No one likes Wednesday.
Mid. So that's how I feel about myself. I feel like a Wednesday, like hump day, bit shit, bit boring. But I think like I'm Thursday, like a little bit serious still, but there is some fun there, and you can start to relax. Yeah, but I just think people see me as a Thursday.
I think I'm aggressively a Sunday because I like to think I'm chill, but I'm actually incredibly anxious.
Yeah, stressful. Yeah, I love that.
Because
That's perfect.
Sunday is the most anxiety
It really is.
day.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
you're
when
like,
you start realizing that maybe all your decisions were wrong in life, and you are not happy. Yeah.
Absolutely. But on the surface, you're like, it's Sunday, take it easy.
Take it easy, babe.
Yeah.
Enjoy this brunch while you can.
Sam is messy. So
Oh,
Sam
Sam is
goes,
icky, icky,
he's like
icky.
starting shit. I like, look, A+ for like television moments, Sam, but also, did you want to get picked? Because you're not going to get picked doing this. He's like,
You can't
let's start
produce
shit
that
with the
early.
other guy. Yeah,
Yeah, you can't produce yourself that early. You've got to
Totally.
like become endearing and then start producing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like full like I respect it a little bit.
So it was an easy choice for her, even though there was a 10-year age difference between the two or 5 or something. Like,
Either way, it was too much for a woman who wants to have a baby very soon. You don't date a 26-year-old
I
man
know.
who looks like that.
oh my god.
You just don't.
No,
you're hurting yourself. That's self-harm at
it
that point.
actually is.
Yeah.
And our final single is Peyton, who, oh my god, like
I'm gonna say it. I love Peyton.
obsessed.
I love
Her
Peyton.
facial expressions, amazing.
The best.
She's also like this seemingly like most normal person on this show, I will
Yes.
say.
Yes.
And she doesn't seem to be, I don't know, producing herself because she's doing these facial expressions. But I feel like, I mean, I don't feel like, I know they have fucking stitched her up. They have given her 2
They always do this.
absolute like insane people, like serial killers.
They always do this.
And they always do it to the nice girl. And I hate it. They did it on Maths this season with, what was it, Tim and Katie. And she was like mortified because they gave her literally like the worst man ever.
It's every single time that, and this speaks to things that we'll see a bit later, but they, give that girl who is nice, funny, actually like the fucking catch of the season. Yeah. But who was also like, God forbid, curvy, and give her the absolute biggest pieces of shit.
I literally was like,
I
literally was like, here we go. Get ready for Peyton to get like abused by every single time. Guy.
Like, I just want to sit down every single Australian producer, reality TV producer, and be like, what are we doing?
What the fuck
Why
are we doing?
Why do we keep doing this? It's bullshit.
It is bullshit. And she's a tradie, which I love.
She's a tradie and she's fucking hot.
She is hot. Yeah, I was into her. What day is she?
What day is she? It's an important question.
She asks Jordan. He's a Thursday.
Yeah.
He's a sporty guy. And I think he's like one of those like Starlight captains or something. Or he just dresses up as a superhero and goes to children's playgrounds and just like harasses children. I don't know which, like, I don't know if he's like a sanctioned entertainer of like kids parties or
when
what.
When that costume comes out, it does look off-brand though, doesn't it? I don't think it's a legitimate Starlight costume.
Looks like hide your kids from this man.
Yeah. Either way, if he is a part of Starlight, it's obviously a very noble thing to do. But he is a fucking weirdo. He's a weirdo, and I'm going to say it, a loser.
Fucking not okay.
He's not okay.
No.
He's not okay.
And like, we need eyes on Peyton. Like, I fear for her life.
Peyton's fine. We need eyes on him because whatever woman he's with now, hopefully none of them.
Also, they gave us this like clip package of him without showing his face, and everything else at this point I was like, hot, because I know I like a husky hairy man, so I was like, ooh, this. I'm seeing a beard. I'm seeing a bit of belly. I was like, I'm into this guy.
Got those big arms.
Yeah. But then when we meet him later, I was like, oh no, I've made a terrible mistake.
You see that haircut and you know what he is immediately.
Dye job on the hair, girl.
Yeah,
run.
There's a lot going on.
Oh my god! But before she
really
picks
jumped
him,
on Jordan,
whatever. She also gets a
my God.
voice message from Dante. Okay, so Dante, to make matters worse, her other option is someone that literally like did a fucking Mrs. Doubtfire bit on the phone.
Was one of the most insane things I've ever heard in my life.
I was like, you are cooked, mate.
What was the thought process of like, okay, this girl's going to call me? Because obviously he knows, the producers have told him he needs to be prepared for that. Yeah. He knows, and he's like, I'm going to do this. What does he think she's going to do in response?
She's going to go, how funny.
He's so quirky. He's so much fun.
He does character acting. Oh, like, are you kidding me?
They gave her two men who, like, their whole personalities, seemingly at this point, from what we know, are bits.
They're both doing bits. They're like bits guys. They're like really giving, like YouTube channel.
Circa
of, like,
2006. like my God.
Honey.
Yeah. It's like Shane Dawson level humor.
What's
going on? It's crazy.
Poor Ari, on her date, she gets ghosted by Sam, which is a word that straight people use too much. And he's pulled out, which I love this, but it also feels incredibly set up. But I loved watching her spiral.
Yeah, that was good.
It was great when she was like, "Oh no, I'm totally fine.
I'm fine.
Whatever."
I mean,
she's like, "Ah,
it's happened again.
I'm unlovable." Yeah.
Honestly, I wish she crashed out that hard though. That's what I need.
I like then as well. She like goes to the toilet with the producer, and they just have this shot of like a fucking like toilet door.
It's very serious.
And them chatting. Love that.
They love an off-camera moment, even if it is absolutely nothing.
Oh, because it just makes it
behind
feel...
the scenes.
Behind
the scenes.
Because they're not even talking about anything classy. And then I love, she's like, oh, well, I'll just text Nuri, who's the hot young boy. So she's like, and then she says, what's the worst that can happen? And I was like, don't say that.
Honestly, I got really excited. I got goosebumps when she said that. I was like, something's about to happen.
Is that pause on that?
That's right. Can't wait to flash back to that in episode 5.
Exactly.
Who knows? Yeah.
Peyton calls Dante. I know we've talked about that. Her facial expressions during that were amazing. Ari has a date with Nuri, and he actually rocks up.
Yes, and he's gorgeous.
He is stunning, and she's actually speechless.
She really is.
As I would be if they put that man in front of me.
She's losing it, yeah, and I love that.
I'd be like, can I fuck him now? Yeah, he's gorgeous. He's got this little sparkle in his eye.
Yeah,
which is very cute.
I liked his confidence, and it didn't come across as like in a gross way. I was like, oh, he seems like a nice guy.
Can I say, I'm so attracted to Kiwis.
Yeah.
Kiwi men are
gorgeous.
Hot. And they've just got this kind of like, it's like a quiet confidence.
Yep.
It's not as douchey as Aussie guys.
It's a little bit more like a dash of gentleman
Yeah,
in there that
yeah,
Aussie guys don't seem to have,
But he also is wearing a little pearl necklace. Yes. Which to me is the international symbol for douchey straight bro.
I do also think he's got some really terrible fashion choices throughout this, from what I've seen of the season so far. Like, really bad.
He doesn't need to wear any clothes.
That's true.
In fact,
clothes do him a disservice anyway.
They do. That was kind of... He was cocky on this date in a way that I was very attracted by. Like, he was like, what did he say? Oh, got some tattoos. Oh, I'm going to have to go exploring later. And she was like not having it. But I was like, that's hot.
That is hot. That's nice. I just appreciate his like touching of the leg.
It was...
I was like,
they were
okay,
vibing.
they were vibing.
I think she was uncomfortable. This is my issue with Ari. I think she's very conscious of the cameras. She's like, I'm a good Greek girl.
Yeah.
I can't kiss on the first date. I'm like, you fucking do. You're just not doing it because you're on camera, I reckon. I think she wants to come across like she's this good girl. I'm like, come on, Ari.
I just think like if you are like slathered in body glitter, I want to see you fuck this man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like with that dress and he's like touching your thigh. I'm like, you don't have to do what you don't want to do, obviously. I want to watch this. Because that would be really hot. Give me something, please. Yeah.
Oh my God. Peyton meets Jordan.
Oh my God.
And this, oh my God. He rocks up with a book of notes of everything she's ever said to him.
Weird.
Weird
behavior.
I was like, turn around and run right now.
He thought it'd be charming.
He has no vibe. He speaks like a serial killer. There's like no eye contact happening. It's creepy.
He makes me so uncomfortable. I think he's like thinking that he is perpetually a 14-year-old class clown. That's what he's doing. Like, that's not the vibe on a date.
Anyone that's like, oh, I'm a bit of a Peter Pan, never really grew up. I'm like, do you know who else said that? Michael Jackson.
And I don't want to fuck Michael Jackson. Gross. Like I feel really bad for Peyton in that moment because she knows that she effed up.
But I feel really good for us because we get to see
it.
More abuse.
Jeez.
Sorry, maybe not that.
No, love the duck term.
He's definitely got someone tied up in his basement. Yeah, currently.
And you just he projects the energy of a man who does not see himself clearly.
Yeah,
and only like punches. You know what I mean? Like he thinks that he can.
Yeah.
He thinks if Jessica Alba was in a bar that she would approach him.
Exactly.
And I just need men like that to know that they are delusional. Ethnic enough? Yeah. The use of the word ethnic by Jordan is crazy.
Truly insane.
Yeah.
And he thought he was not like on camera at that point, which I love. But like it's between that or Mrs. Doubtfire. So like, what are you going to take?
That's a really good point. What do you do?
So on Ari and Nuri's date, she's slamming on the brakes. And then we get all the couples moving in together. This was awkwardly edited. It was just kind of like, here they go. I was like, I wanted more. I thought that was like a big milestone moment. I wanted to see that.
Should be.
But it just kind of whizzed through anyway.
Like I fully want to see like the first dinner. Like I want to like feel like I'm living there with them.
Bernie makes fun of Marissa's accent. So rude. And her coffee order and like everything. I was like, is this like a negging
It absolutely
thing?
is. This is someone who doesn't have anything actually to say.
Yeah.
And so all they do is like point out the things that the other person is doing, but in a jokey way. And they're like, I'm just a funny guy having fun. It's like, oh, you don't have an original thought in your goddamn brain. Yeah, go off.
I love, so then we get Peyton and Jordan moving in together. And
Oh my
Peyton
God.
I love, they kind of just cut straight into it with no context. It's her looking terrified, her being like,
So confused.
how do I get out of here? She's like, I made a huge mistake.
Peyton is like the people's princess
Yeah.
of this show. Like every reaction she's giving, I am at home doing the
eyes.
same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this guy is a weirdo.
And she's like, how are we going to do this for 3 weeks? Whatever. And he's like, months. Oh,
And she's just like slowly backing away out of his
Yeah.
bedroom as he's unpacking. And he's like, oh, should we do it together? She's like, oh, I thought you could do it alone. And he just somehow traps her into this experience while
Yeah.
he's taking out all his props for his prop comedy. Bizarre.
no.
Bizarre.
Then we get Mike and Melinda, and she's Googled him because the producers have told her to. And I love this. She's like, so I know who you are now. Congratulations.
I'm aware.
But then the best part of this was the conversation around being a gym asshole.
I'm so glad you brought this up.
This was the, the way they were
So
so
weird.
serious about this. I was like, who the fuck? I was like,
It's
sorry?
so weird. Well, this is what is interesting about the Mike and Melinda. Is that?
Sure.
Yep. The M&M dynamic
Yeah.
that's going on is that so Mike usually, traditionally in one of these shows, would be the asshole.
Yeah.
And then you have the poor suffering woman that has to deal with him. It's interesting with Melinda, I'm just going to
Yeah.
lean into that's her name,
Yeah.
is that she also gives asshole.
Totally. No, she's truly an asshole
She
as well.
is pedantic about this gym situation, the not taking off of the weight.
It's a shared space.
That is crazy.
Put your weights away. It's shared space. I was like,
And
oh
he's
my
like,
God.
oh, yeah, no, I kind of can see your point. And she can't let it go.
What is
She's
your
like,
life? If
you
that
did
is
this
the biggest
7 years
issue-
ago, and I think that
Oh.
makes you an asshole forever. It's
But
like,
that over everything else, like
ooh.
not him just being a total misogynist or
No,
anything. Like,
she can't
you're a
let
gym
go of the
asshole.
weights.
I can't believe you would do that. Like,
Well, it's
Anyway.
it harks back to their first date where she's like, are you a messy person?
yeah.
Are you
yeah,
a messy
yeah,
person? He's like, no. She's like, yeah, good, because I can't stand messy people. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah, no,
uh-oh.
she's not.
I think she
me.
might have a lot of energy that
Yeah.
I don't think is good for Mike, and I also don't think would be good for me.
She's like, how am I ever going to be able to crush a watermelon between my thighs when there's gym assholes? Not.
And mess everywhere.
I was dying. Over to Beck and Chloe
Mm.
having a pajama party date night. This was cute.
This was cute in a
weird.
way that feels like a G-rated like lesbian romance film
Yes.
from the 2000s that I would have been obsessed with as a teenager. It's very cute, not particularly sexy,
No.
but I get why Chloe's doing it because Beck obviously doesn't seem to be very attracted to her.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be, weirdly enough, women don't want to be like, feel like predators or seem as predators. So we go about it the cutesy way and not the sexy. I'm going to make you feel safe.
Yeah,
then I'll
it was
try and
cute.
fuck you.
Yeah, being like, it's a pajama
Yeah,
party.
it's like
cuddles.
Sleepover Club, which I used to love that show.
It was,
yeah.
it was giving Sleepover Club for sure.
But I feel bad for Chloe because
Mm.
I would want to fuck Beck as well. And
Yeah.
not being able to would be hard to live with. Yeah,
Totally.
it'd be really hard.
There's no vibes though, right?
There isn't.
No.
Yeah, no. I think Chloe is genuinely attracted to Beck.
Yeah.
I don't think Beck is interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Beck was like, damn,
Mm.
I wanted a
She's like, cute best
black
friend.
cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did want a black cat.
Back at Bernie and Marissa, she basically calls him out. She's like, you like need to chill.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does apologize kinda for insulting her earlier, but it's just kind of awkward. And she's like, well, you're just not really that mature, which I love that she just called that out. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah. And then he's like, I am mature. I'm just silly. I'm cheeky.
I'm just a silly
I'm
boy.
just a silly boy.
Yeah, I'm glad that she called him out, being like, because obviously you couldn't live with that for a week of him constantly just
Yeah.
being like, jokes that aren't funny.
Exactly.
That would be annoying. So she did the right thing, being like, okay, this is how I feel about it. And what was shocking to me is like, he seemed really receptive. And
Yeah.
it was like, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I won't do that anymore. Thank you so much for bringing it up. to me.
Exactly.
Little do we know, he was absolutely full of shit and was going to resent her for the rest of his life about it. Yeah.
Episode 3 is called He Said, She Said. This one was great. This
Classic
is great.
tale.
Love that we're getting, everyone together. 'Cause
Love a
this
dinner
is-
party.
This is like,
Ugh.
we've arrived. Yeah.
Yes.
We start with Mike and Melinda, and this editing was fantastic. This was like Bravo level of like true crime documentary.
The sound design was next level. I was like, oh, I can feel it in my bones, the drama.
So good. It was like something went down last. It was like 24 hours earlier.
I love a timestamp in a reality show. I was like, oh, this is the good stuff. Yeah.
Mike tells the story from his side first. He's like, I went for a walk. It's a very convoluted story. I'm like, Mike, get to the bit. He's like, I went for a walk because, you know, I like to go on walks.
I asked Melinda if she wanted to go with me. She declined the offer and decided to stay home. I was like, okay.
And at this point, I'm like, where is this going? Like,
I'm like, is she dead?
I'm like, did you get murdered on the walk? Like, what happened? Yeah, is she I was like, what?
He came back and found her body?
No, worse. He came back and found her with a male member of production sat on the end of her bed. Did they fuck?
No, but I think there was probably a vibe in that room.
There was vibes.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Me too. I think if you're someone on a reality show and you're in that situation and there is not a vibe with the person and you kind of start going for the crew, I think that's iconic behavior.
So fucking iconic.
Yes.
It made me really like her. But then she kind of, obviously denies it all. He was just checking on me. It's his job to check on me. Don't worry, he'll never work for the show ever again. I love that they're like literally saying like
Mike is firing people.
He is getting Channel 9 staff fired.
He's been removed from the production, just so you know.
He'll never work a day in his life again. I've made sure of it. Fucking hell.
It's so
but
good.
This is again why I love watching the shows because like how funny are straight people? Like
it's so good.
What? Like there was a man. Like I love that they're like men and women can't be in locked rooms together or else
something must be afoot.
It's hilarious to me.
Yeah. I part of me because I guess I'm on both sides of the fence there because I'm like, well, she should be allowed to be in a room alone with a man, obviously. But then also, I'm kind of on Mike's side because I reckon there probably was something going on.
Yeah, probably. But but then unfortunately, we didn't get to see Mike lose his shit.
No, I really wanted to see that.
Fuck, if only. Because I reckon he got full aggro.
I think he because, as he claims, he never raised his voice to Melinda.
I don't believe that for a second.
But he was yelling at the man who was in the same room as Melinda. So I feel like that's kind of samesies. So I would have loved to have seen that, and I would have loved to see her screring back at Mike, being like,
she does admit that she went full Karen.
Yes, which I really want to say.
This bit is great. Like, her kind of like owning her part of it, which again, I'm like, I don't quite know what that was, is quite funny to me.
I love the way she phrases her owning of it. There's never an apology. She's like, I will admit I said that I did. There's no apology.
Way they talk
it's
to
just
each other.
acknowledging that she did it.
It's so fucked. Like,
so good.
It's like the passive aggressive Olympics. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's intense. And I honestly am, I wish she was there. Like, what I wanted was, have you ever watched Summer House?
Yeah.
The reality show?
Oh, yeah.
So what I appreciate about Summer House is they have like cameras set up in the main living spaces.
Yeah.
24/7.
Because a toe might get sucked.
That's
in
right.
the middle of the night.
It was more than a toe,
It
right?
was more than a toe.
But I think they need that on these types of shows, like on Maths, on Love
it's
Triangle.
Like below deck. Like
so
get them in the fucking halls.
So much drama happens when cameras are down, and I think it's unacceptable that I don't get to see it.
Do we have different law around that in this country? Maybe I do wonder why we don't.
Well, let's all move because that's just not okay. That's not okay.
I need to see.
What's
going on.
It's not in the bathrooms, but it's like a set. Surely we can film them.
She does then give us iconic line. You're nowhere near as relevant as you think you are. You're a 50-year-old washed-up reality TV star.
I love that, but I think like a very harsh, but a fair response to his comments about like there are people who are going to watch this and they know me and they know
my fans. I do have fans.
I do have fans. They know I don't talk bullshit.
2 of them.
So, okay, buddy. How long ago? It was like 6 years ago that Math season, right?
I love that he goes, oh well, great chat. I'm gonna
want a cup of tea?
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave you with that. And would you like a cup of tea? And she's like, no, I don't want a fucking cup of tea. It was so good.
It's great.
That whole bit was
Yeah.
sensational.
It really felt like your parents just before they got a divorce.
Yeah.
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 Fantastic.
Over to Peyton and Jordan, it's like from bad to worse. She's like, it's giving little brother vibes and not man of my dreams vibes. Poor thing.
Yeah, that poor woman.
Yeah, run.
But at least, like, honestly, she's coping far better than I would have. I would be screaming, like, can you please shut up?
Well, they try and edit it here to make us believe that she's like coming around,
Warming up to
but
it.
I
and
don't
like
like
finding
that.
a certain level of
Yeah,
charm.
yeah,
in it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
when they go grocery shopping
Yeah.
and the man says, I didn't know there were different coloured onions. And I was
Oh my
like,
God,
this
the
is
beetroot?
unacceptable.
Yeah.
To be that age and not know about different coloured onions, I'd be like, you're not coming back to the house. You're not coming back to the house. You're an idiot. I don't want anything to do with you.
Over at Ari and Nuri, she's thinking maybe she's been too cold. She's like, I did turn it down the kiss and then I made him sleep in the other room. I'm like, you made that sleep in the other room. This
Yeah,
is when I
that's
was like,
insane.
okay, I hate this bitch.
Yeah. Even I would be like, you can sleep in my room, but
Yeah.
you can't wear a shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
I cannot wear a shirt.
So she goes, all right, to get the flirty vibes going, I'm gonna, wait for it, give him a spray tan. I was like, ooh.
I do love a product placement though.
It was
Like,
good.
It's one of my favorite things. I was like, it made me go, do I need a spray tan?
She is a
yeah.
spray tan girly, Ari. And at least we get to see him naked.
We got a
so I
nice little
appreciate
view.
they knew
Yeah.
what they were doing with
It
this
was
scene.
really
It was
important.
cute.
And
Yeah,
I did like her expressions to camera while doing it.
she was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cute. Bernie and Marissa, oh my God, this guy. This is when he's wearing like these huge like Balenciaga
Yes,
sunnies or something.
yeah.
And I was like, you are such a douchebag.
And they talk about having a drink on the patio. These two talk about having a drink on the patio a lot.
Oh my God.
It's the one thing they have in common.
Their conversations are like, it's like Chat GPT talking to each other. It's like, would you like to sit over here and have a patio? And he's just looking for reasons to hate her.
Yes.
He's like, oh, what drink do you have? And like, everything is like she's not cool enough for him.
This man cannot be attracted to a
Yeah.
woman who has any kind of emotion
Yeah.
at all. And he's like, unless our conversation is all about stroking my ego, I don't want to have it. I'm not interested.
He needs like just some pretentious Instagram girly, like some model.
Yeah.
And they can do TikToks together.
Yeah. And the conversation is they're not even really talking to each
Yeah.
other. They're all just kind of looking, they're both
Yeah.
looking at their own reflection while they have a conversation.
That's who
his
he needs.
perfect
And
relationship.
is it Marissa? Texas.
Yeah.
She's like, she's got a fucking 9-year-old. Like, what
This
are you
is-
doing with this
yeah.
bloke? Anyway.
Yeah, that was, and she's just like, I just want to get back to like having flirty fun. I'm like, do you want to go back to that with this man? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, what's she doing on this show? Like, she's clearly a hungry tiger as well, right?
She's about to start some kind of small business.
There's a
yeah.
product. I feel a product in
Yeah.
the wings. Yeah. He says in confessional that in real life he would have already cut things off with her, and I'm like, we know.
Yeah, we can tell and she can tell. It's very clear. Yeah.
Fucking hell. And then again, it's like, they're staying for the airtime. Peyton teaches Jordan how to cook, and this was the onion bit, and no.
He can't even butter bread. He doesn't know. She's teaching him how to make toast, Vegemite toast.
He seems to think that the aim of the show is to make her laugh. He's like, but all I'm here to do is make her laugh. I'm like, sorry?
He wants a radio gig. Let's be
Oh,
very. He 100% wants a radio gig. He's like the fun larrikin
or
character.
a comedy festival show.
Oh,
I don't know.
God. God, as much as I would never give money to that man, I would ask whoever goes
I
to
would
that
go to that
comedy
show.
show to illegally record it so I can watch it.
I would go to that show, but I would be back row with like a hoodie on and like big sunglasses, so
Hoodie,
no one knew
sunglasses, GoPro
Yeah.
at the top, just
I was
filming
there. And I would
it.
make everyone else there like sign an NDA, like that I was not there, and I would not. Pay
I am
for
not a
the
part of
ticket.
this. Yeah. Oh my god. Mm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
She's not getting let's get naked vibes with him, and I'm like, same girl.
Yeah. No, never. He clearly, is doing a bit. It's weird in this in these moments pre the dinner party that he's like his little like aside to the camera and stuff about like, oh yeah, we are just friends, but like, you know, it seems as though he's trying to win her over. That's what he is expressing. And that is clearly Liza Minnelli all across the board. Yeah.
They all get a little text
Ding,
about
ding,
the
ding.
party and then cut to the party. I wasn't quite sure what the format was going to be with these parties, but there isn't one. They're literally just there, and like I know they're all suddenly in different arrangements of people, and you can't keep track of who the fuck is where. But it's great.
It is fantastic. Yeah, they all come together, have a quick chat, break off into little groups, have a gab, have a goss, then switch it up.
Yeah.
And then come back together at the end. That is the structure of the night.
Yeah. The lesbians walk into the room to disrupt the heteronormative lesbians. And of course Bernie goes, oh, fuck me. They're fucking hot. And to someone's credit, I don't know, one of the other guys is like, dude.
I actually think it was Jordan.
Oh, really? There you go. Oh, there you go.
Shocking to me.
Someone was like, come on.
You can't say that.
And then he's like, oh, the blonde. I'm like, oh.
He's like,
hot take.
his
The
jaw
blonde lesbian is hot.
falls to the floor and his tongue rolls out like a cartoon wolf.
Ooga.
Yeah, ooga, ooga. He cannot believe it. Yeah, he's just like, I need to bang that chick. She will be mine. Yeah, my blood started to boil.
His little fucking face.
Yeah.
And then when she reveals that she's bisexual, he's like, he was already hard, but now he's like pre-coming in the drops.
Yep. He's absolutely in there.
And I actually love them together. I think, because obviously, let's be real, they matched them with the wrong people on purpose. And I think these two should have been matched together.
Because I was having such a weird reaction. I was like, I hate Bernie. And now I hate him even more because he's like coming for the bisexual in this like queer relationship. And I was like fully like obviously in love with Beck, so protective of her. And I was like, oh no, it's going to end badly. But in the back of my mind, I was like, Beck is not attracted to Chloe. Chloe, I think, and Bernie would actually make for a really good couple in like the most vapid sense of what a couple is. So I was like, oh, this is not going to end well. But also maybe it's going to end perfectly.
Exactly. Who knows? Yeah. Of course, Chloe's like, everyone just so you know, like I didn't want like the gender to impact my decision. So I just like didn't even know because I'm cool like that.
You guys are all straight and boring, but I'm really interesting as a bisexual, and gender has no place in my life.
I just don't see gender. Yeah. Then Mike and Melinda appear walking like 4 meters apart from each other, which was amazing.
Incredible. Just like steam coming off both of them in anger.
Yeah, there's like the face on both of them is just like,
I don't want to be here.
The girlies chat and someone says, I love love. I think it's Peyton. And I went,
says that. Well, she's saying it because they're asking about Jordan, and she's trying to put a good face on. Like she's trying to be like, oh, we are friends, but like it's open. It's kind of like we've been together for 5 years. Like we bicker all the time. And then I think everyone's just kind of like, okay. And she just goes, I just love love. I was like, oh my God.
Don't you just love? I haven't heard that one in a while.
Just love.
It's very straight pride.
Jordan. For a while there it was gay pride. Love is love.
Love. Oh, true.
Love is love.
Don't you just love? Love is love.
Yeah. Love is love. Yeah.
Jordan tells Chloe, but Peyton and I are just chilling in the friend zone. Whoa, it's another one I haven't heard in a while. And this was great. Chloe's like, hang on. But does she know that? And he's like, yeah. We've discussed it at length. Many occasions. We've had many occasions. I'm like, mate, you have not had
at length is amazing.
You've not had a conversation with her about anything.
No.
That isn't a bit.
Yeah. Without a cape on. Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, I was wearing a cape, and I said,
I was pretending to fly in front of a fan as it blew back my hair, and I said, yeah, we're in the friend zone.
And she went, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
which, and this is what I hate, and this is, it's giving Tim and Katie on maths this year, where they stitch up the like curvy girl. Now it's like they're making her look desperate for this douchebag, and I'm like, No, come on. You're
She's
telling me
not
she's
interested.
not into it.
She's not interested
I
either.
hate the narrative they're trying to tell.
Yeah. What I enjoy with, I guess, this added queer element means, like, when they divided the groups into, I guess, the girls and the boys, Chloe hilariously was with the lads. So her ability, like, one, have those conversations with the boys and then bring it up later, I think is, like, a really good production tool. So I very much enjoyed that. But, oh boy, this narrative of Peyton being interested is stupid. But I also think Peyton has a great moment at the end of the episode that kind of negates that.
She does. But also, weird, anyway. But I love that he thinks that they're happily sit their friends on and that he can pull some, like,
was it
hot little
tiny,
thing. Small,
was it
ethnic.
It's like small, petite, ethnic woman or something bizarre.
And that's what I love. Like, these men go in these shows and they act like it's like they're ordering off a menu. I asked for ethnic and I got this. I'm like, sorry.
And that they are somehow being generous by giving these women that they're matched with their time. I was like, you should be so lucky to end up with someone like Peyton. You are punching, mate. Yeah.
Melinda tells the story to some girlies about Mike and the former member of staff. And this is so good. And I think people are a little bit confused about it, but also, like,
well, it's a confusing situation. And also, Melinda is a terrible communicator. Like, she's such a terrible storyteller.
Yeah.
She also, like, when they eventually have a conversation out in the open, does not defend herself very well at all.
Well, she's owning too much of it. If I was her, I would be like, I had nothing to do with this. Yes. I was sat in a room and then he came in and started yelling. I did nothing.
Which made me go, okay then. So what did happen?
Exactly. Because the fact that she feels guilty, I'm like,
because he says,
got a
like,
toe sucked.
He's like, I didn't yell. And she doesn't chime in with, actually, you did. She just goes, I do apologize for yelling. I was like, okay, what actually happened in that room then? What's going on? Yeah.
Oh, if only we had a fly out on the wall.
I know. Get those cameras up.
Yeah, Jordan likes small, tanned, ethnic was the line, which makes my skin crawl.
It's so
and
gross.
he's into Marissa after she tells him that she's part Latina. Which I'm like,
Latina.
gross. It feels
Did you hear his
fetishy.
response when she said Latina? He goes, oh,
spicy
yes.
one. Oh, yeah.
So
it's like,
gross.
sorry?
What's happening?
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Mate. Yeah.
And he was also making, like, kind of weirdly, like, he was telling Texas that he was absolutely interested in her, being like, oh, there's no way no man could ever not be attracted to you at all. But then he was also doing the flirty thing that it seems to be the only method that straight men have, which is kind of like negging her. It's like, he was like, oh, do you have a nighttime routine? And she's like, yeah, I do. And he's like, oh, I knew there was something wrong with you. I was like, tick, tick. And then you said that. Boom, boom. I was like,
high fives himself.
What the fuck? I was like, God forbid a woman knows how to wash her face.
But also, like, how trolly to ask someone something as, like, a bait to then be like, ooh, lame.
Yeah,
gross. Like, you asked.
Yeah.
Anyway. Then we get Chloe and Bernie having a little moment.
And she's flirting up a storm.
Oh,
she
big
is
time.
loving
She
it.
knows what she's doing. I love this. They talk about TikTok and she's like, yeah, but you wouldn't know me. I'm on, like, the gay side of TikTok. So, like, I don't know. It's pretty, like, underground. I was like, what the fuck is the gay side of TikTok? I'm sorry.
I also thought his response was quite good. He's like, well, you don't know my algorithm.
I did like that.
Yeah. I was like, I appreciate that. No, she's flirting up a storm. She's enjoying it because I think earlier or maybe slightly later in the night, she's talking to a couple of the boys and she's like, oh, yeah, like, I just wanted to get here and, like, I want the person I'm with to, like, want to rip off my clothes. She's obviously feeling some kind of deficit, which is valid. Yeah. And now here comes Bernie.
Coming in hot. And now we see that Bernie does have the capacity to be complimentary and stuff if he wants to fuck you.
Yes.
He does not want to fuck Marissa. Or maybe they did, now he's over it.
Yeah,
Who
he
knows?
did. And then he met her and she had one emotion. He was like, I no longer want to fuck you. Yeah.
But he goes, basically, like, what are you doing here? You're like too hot to be on this show. And I was like, all right,
he
mate.
said like, like, I hate to say it, but when someone like you is on these shows, like someone who is more than conventionally attractive, I was like, okay, buddy, put it back in your pants. Come on.
I love we're making him sound really like bogan, but he's actually like Portuguese.
Yeah. Well, we can't do that accent.
No, we can't.
That would be offensive.
He's actually quite strange, but I'm weirdly into it. Oh, gross. I hate myself.
No, it's fine. You're only trained by the culture you're a part of.
Honestly,
Come on.
it's
not
that.
your fault.
It's absolutely that. Yeah. Oh my God. She tells her sob story about her almost marriage.
It's pretty tragic, actually. I know you say sob story, but it's pretty sad.
No, this
Yeah.
is she.
It's like
She was meant to be on this show.
She's meant to be on this show. I think she needs to. She's clearly like dealing with like a lot of trauma from what had happened, which is why I need her to crash out a bit harder.
Yeah.
Like I need her to like. I'm gonna feel very sad for her, but I need to see it.
Wait till we find out that she actually broke it off so she could be on the show. Don't you reckon? Stranger things have happened.
I thought you were telling me that was the actual truth.
Oh
I was
no,
like,
I'm just saying like I wouldn't be
hope that's what
surprised
happened.
because
Yeah,
there's always
that's
that like
true.
people want to go on these shows and then they're
Mhm.
like, oh fuck, but I'm not single.
Yep.
Whoops. Nah, she
Nah,
probably don't do that.
I
But
want that for her. I want that empowering moment, that empowering story.
back to Mike and Melissa, the group interrogate her side of the story, which
Yep.
just like in real life.
Mhm.
And she's like, yes, I did call him a washed up reality TV star. And he's like, and I do have fans.
And I do have fans. Yeah, he feels very vindicated. Yeah.
And I like that they had to build the world of the show, they had to have at least one person recognize him, but like it was such a stretch. It was like Chloe. It was like, I think I recognize him from Maths, but I'm not convinced that she did.
I think she seems like a girl who absolutely watches
Watches
Maths.
Maths. Yeah.
I-
But
I
like it
fully
was so
believe
long
that.
ago. She's like how I remembered him, where you're like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, it's when you see people out in the wild who have been on a reality show, you're like, do I know him from high school?
Yeah,
like it's that
yeah.
level of
If
recognition.
if I walked past him on the street, I would not bat an eyelid. I'd
No,
be like-
I wouldn't look up. Yeah, wouldn't have seen him.
Then Peyton confronts Jordan for lying to her,
Love this moment.
and we
Yeah.
get the hot mic moment. Small town ethnic, amazing. Wow.
Yeah, there's a quote from Peyton. I wrote it down. What was it? Oh, that's right. Because she's like just being very blunt in that
Yeah.
moment, and she's like, "I just feel like either you're attracted to me or you're not."
Yeah.
And she's like, and he's like, "Oh well, we all like can see that you're beautiful. Like I think you're beautiful." And she's like, I know I'm beautiful. I don't need that from you. I'm not asking about that. It's like either you want to fuck me or you don't. And I feel like you've been lying to me and to
Yeah.
yourself and pretending like this is a possibility when clearly it's not.
No.
And that's fine. But he still doesn't be
Yeah.
honest. He's like, no, I think there's like the door's not closed. I'm like,
Oh, the
that's
door's not
saying
closed.
The door's not closed. It's such bullshit.
They have to say all this to like stay on the show
Yeah,
effectively.
that's true.
What a cliffhanger though. Great way to end the first half of the season.
Yep.
What are you hoping, predicting will take place
Okay,
in the
so
next half?
The next half, because I've watched the next
Yeah,
episode,
yeah.
so I know what happens when the thirds come in. What am I hoping? I'm hoping there is at least a little bit of like sapphic romance that doesn't make me like want to die.
Yeah.
A little bit of cute. Like I would like to see some attraction from
Currently,
some
I'm
kind of
not
queer
convinced.
woman
Yeah. Or
at
just
all.
anyone at this
Or
point.
Anyone, that's true.
Yeah. I want some sex. Let's be real.
That
I
would be
want
nice.
Nuri and Ari to just like.
Yeah, go to Pound Town.
Yeah.
100%. That would be fab. What do I want? Yeah, I think I need a little bit more of spiciness. I want Peyton to have someone who is genuinely like interested in her and wants to like fuck her. That's what I want for her. And whether she's like interested or not, I just want someone to like really desire her and for her to like be able to make a decision, be like no or hell yes. That'd be gorge.
Maybe Chloe and Chriselle will hit it off at the reunion.
Maybe.
I'm excited for this reunion.
Me
I know.
too.
And they're glad that I am because of all the money they spent on advertising for it. But I hope,
on every bus, in
I
the
hope
world.
they bring out the member of staff that sat on the end of the bed.
Ooh, do you reckon that member of staff would be willing to do that?
Probably not. But how good would
I
that
wish
be?
they would.
Or like a redacted, like a
Like a silhouette, like voice changed. Oh my
That would
god,
be great.
to recount. Actually, they should absolutely do that. Yeah, that'd be fab. I hope Bernie. Okay, so I was about to say I hope Bernie leaves alone, but part of me is like, oh, I hope he leaves with Chloe, so that way Chloe leaves with someone that wants her and her self-esteem gets a little top up. Which I feel like
that's
going to
happen.
Yeah,
and they're just already they're like an influencer couple. Like I can already see them spruiking brands.
Yeah, and they're going to be on a bunch of other reality shows as like couples and stuff.
Absolutely, they are.
And I do want that for them.
Yeah.
I want Jordan to disappear into the ether and we never see him again.
Yeah.
And Mike, I don't really give a fuck about Mike.
Mike is giving such good TV though, because like the passive aggression is great, the delusion is great. He's just
the delusion is fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. So then I guess like I hope his next person is able to like continue that drama along. Yeah. I hope there's like more fireworks.
Stunning.
Gorgeous.
We shall see.
We
Damask,
shall.
thank you so much for joining me on the couch.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
I know.
This is really good.
We'll have to do it again soon.
Yay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.